I just cooked and cleaned from 2 p.m. to 5:30. 3.5 hours non-stop. Didn't stop to take a break, didn't stop to eat. I'm fasting, so I wouldn't be eating. I only stopped to pee, a few times since I was, drinking a lot of water because I was fasting. I didn't taste anything that I made. I had my mom taste it, and she's like, good. 3.5 hours non-stop, including cleaning the kitchen spotless. I didn't leave a single dish, didn't leave a single spot on the counter, nothing. I cleaned everything non-stop. I mean, spotless, to make sure my mom was kitchen spotless. So 3.5 hours non-stop. I used up stuff to make more soup. I made, that's equivalent, that's like exercising, because I'm on my feet while the bath. I did 6 cans of organic black beans with a 10-ounce thing of organic cheese. You say, well, that's a whole thing of cheese. Yeah, but it's 6 cans of beans. I made so I could have meals, to eat. I made mushrooms, 6 and a 6-egg thing with mushrooms and kale. That's to, have for a couple of some meals or whatnot. And Henry, I washed everything. I make huge messes, so it takes a long time to clean too, but 3.5 hours non-stop. I did 6 cans of garbanzo beans with almost 10 ounces of cheese. It was a little bit gone from that. Sharp organic cheddar, both black beans and the garbanzo beans. I blended them partially in the blender, and I had to add water. They wouldn't blend without water, but I just didn't want them completely to be beans. I wanted them to be softer, so. And that I had to cook. I was doing things all at once, and then I have more soup cooking. And I also made that cauliflower rice. Although it didn't come out the same probably because I was just to grate the cauliflower, and I don't have a grater, and I didn't grate it, but I did chop it fine. But anyway, I did the cauliflower rice, which was featured in one of the Woman's World magazines. Cauliflower rice is, you have 3 tablespoons of olive oil. You saute 1 medium yellow onion until it's translucent, the onion, and then you add a cup of minced celery. And you do all that for like 5 minutes, and then you have a whole head of cauliflower. I have to make that, soften that up and make it better when I'm actually eating it, you know what I mean, which would be tomorrow. I added beets to this. Beets are really hard. Hard to cut, hard to peel. Same as cauliflower, it's hard to cut. 3.5 hours non-stop. I didn't take a break, not one break. That's how long it took, including cleaning the kitchen and sweeping the floor and everything. In the end, I left the kitchen completely spotless. I didn't have my mom help at all, and she shared in the expense of the stuff that was leftover stuff from that diet and whatnot and stuff I purchased. But I didn't have her help at all. She didn't even have to clean a dish. I cleaned everything, and it's all done. It took me 3.5 hours, but now I have meals for the whole week. And like my other videos said, it's not like I've gained, even 50 or 25 pounds. I've gained 15, I should be able to drop that fairly easily. Although technically I would like to I told it at one point, and I found it out of my Google Plus when I was putting pictures out there. It was a comment I had posted when I was staying with Joe, and I was down to 153.8 pounds. You guys never got to see me that thin. The thinnest you guys have seen me is down to like 163, something like that, 164, in a video. Because I didn't make any videos when I was 153.8. So I was 10 pounds thinner than you guys have ever seen me in a video. But people have seen me in pictures, but down to that. Not down to 153 though. I've never been that. I haven't even seen me that. Last time I was that thin, 153, was when I was 26, okay? Back when I was like, or when I was like around there. Down to 153, I only went briefly. It wasn't difficult. I didn't stay at that at Joe's, but you know, different lifestyle, going to bed early, getting enough sleep, and every night sleeping at least 7 hours a night. You know, all the important shit that fell by the wayside when I'd just been repeatedly going through hell with her, you know. I told her, too, because she tells people stuff even around here. I'm like, you know what, Mom? These people, your friends, or even your neighbor, they don't know, you know? They don't know what was going on behind the scenes or whatnot. And that's the whole thing. They don't know. You know? I felt at all times I was honoring what you had wanted when you were well, okay? And if in the end that wasn't true or wasn't completely true or, you know, whatever, but that's how I felt at the time, and I acted accordingly. And my cousin was pulling strings from 3,000 miles away as well, you know? So did the best I could do. I believe we got at least another foot, maybe a foot and a half. I'm going to watch the news at 6. We got at least another foot. Boston is at the 3rd, and we're only February 15th. Tomorrow's almost 8th birthday. We're only at February 15th. It can snow into March, and it has snowed in April before, okay? Boston is at the snowiest winter of all time on record. Not necessarily of all time, since they started keeping records. We're at the 3rd right now, and it's only February 15th. Boston could end up, you know, being the snowiest winter on record ever in history. Isn't that funny? I don't necessarily live in Boston. I don't say where I live. Besides, when they say Boston, doesn't it incorporate all the other cities around it? They say Boston, but do they mean, isn't it the same, like in the next cities over, like Lynn or Swampscott or Brookline, you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure across the Massachusetts we're breaking records left and right. They use Boston as, you know, as a focal point or something, if that's the right word. That's how they focus on, is Boston, the news. But it incorporates all the damn cities in Massachusetts, more or less. Not everything. Some get more, some get less. But, you know, again, I'm not going to reveal where I'm living. My mom decided to get somebody to do the shovel off the roof, too. We're talking a lot of snow piled up on the roof. So she's going to pay someone to do that. Not a fortune either. And to shovel out the driveway or plow the driveway or whatnot. I don't know. I think it's a good idea, because even if nothing happens, it's not good for your roof. That's how I feel. It can't be good. Like Governor Baker, I watched his thing today at noontime. He's like, you know, you're talking now, some places 8-9 feet of snow, and, you know, roofs are caving in, and even if you have a strong roof, it's going to weaken the structure, and then, you know, it might take only maybe, nothing would happen this year, but it would weaken the structure, and then next year something. I think it's good to get the snow off the roof. But I still would like to somehow get out there and to let Omar out. We just had him pee right on the little front steps. I just opened up the door a little bit and then pushed my way out and then just shoveled off just the top of the steps. My mom did that this morning, and then more snow came. You know, we may have gotten over a foot. I don't really know. Had to wait till it stopped. We didn't lose the power. We're still supposed to have really bad winds, but I feel good because I have my 6 cans of black beans. I had to add some water to make it to a paste, but it's mostly 6 cans of black beans, the cheese, and lots of spices. I didn't taste it, but my mom did. And she's like, and then 6 cans of garbanzo beans. I put a little, I think I may have put a can of garbanzo beans in the soup that I was making, but still, say 5 cans of garbanzo beans with almost a whole block of cheese, almost a 10-ounce of cheese. And then the egg, organic kale, organic mushroom concoction. I had 2 things of mushrooms. I put one with my eggs, my 6 eggs, and the kale, and I put another one in the soup. I have nowhere to put the soup. My mom and I have been eating the other soup all along, and the stuff I have cooking on the stove, it cooks all day, and then it cools down all night, you know what I mean? And then it can cook again. I'm not worried at all about getting sick. It's not summer. It's not like stuff being left out on a cookout or something, you know. I'm not worried. If as long as I heat it up and then it cools down, and you know, because there's just no room. There's no room for the new soup while we still have the old soup. Well, why did you make it for? Because I was feeling industrious. I fasted. I didn't touch anything that I ate. Believe me, I was tempted. And I did. So it was 3.5 hours of exercise. Granted, mild exercise, but still, I'm on my feet. I'm going back and forth and cooking. It's still exercise. It's not just sitting and watching TV, watching a movie, or on the computer or whatnot. Sometime this week, perhaps tomorrow, perhaps even tomorrow, you never know. I intend to go and see all by my lonesome during the day, 50 Shades of Grey. I might even drink a little bit. I don't trust these movies anymore. Time goes away, and I'm thinking, you know, movies used to last a lot longer in theaters. Now they don't. There's a movie I wanted to see, and it was gone like 3 weeks. I wanted to see it in the theaters, and I was pissed. So I'm not taking a chance on this movie. It just opened on Valentine's Day, which is yesterday. I intend to see it this week. I'll go to bed early. I mean, early for me isn't relatively early. My cell phone messages are filled up. I didn't even know that. My mom said, I tried to leave you a message when I went to my appointment the other day, and I couldn't. I'm like, it's full. I haven't even listened to my messages. I feel so good. I cleaned and cooked. I cooked. That was the primary thing, but I also cleaned up the entire kitchen all along. I did it slowly, did it all along. It takes a long time to chop up vegetables and all stuff. I did it non-stop, and it was 3.5 hours non-stop. When you're doing that, probably a full hour is spent cleaning. The dishes are in the dishwasher, clean. I don't know what my mom's having for dinner since I'm fasting. Beginners, I have that from the library. I renewed it. I don't really think I feel like watching it, though. I don't really feel like doing anything. I want to watch the 6 o'clock news and then maybe go on my computer or take a nap, or I don't know. While I was cooking and cleaning non-stop for 3.5 hours, I listened, and so did my mom, since I was playing it on number 30, I was playing it loud. Her CDs that she got from one of Marion's family members she got for Christmas. I played first Adele's, I guess it's her greatest hits, I don't know what it is, twice in its entirety. And then I played Taylor Swift's 1989 twice in its entirety. And those two together took 3.5 hours. Played twice, played each of them twice. And I like some of the songs on each of the CD, and I don't like other of the songs, That's typical for me. I guess it looks like there's no hope probably for Bobby Christina. They're keeping her alive with life support, and she's brain dead, and they're hoping for a miracle, but I read comments from people like, you should just let her go. Let her go be with the angel, let her be in peace. There's nothing there. as of 12 o'clock today, a hell of a lot, just like the last one, a hell of a lot less people lost their power than they had predicted. Of course, as they were prone to say last time, which is true, yeah, if you're the one who's lost your power, it doesn't matter to you that it's only 5,000 instead of 25,000, or even only 1,000 instead of 2, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter because you're the one who's lost it. But I guess the electric people, after what happened in Blizzard 2013, they were better prepared. They did put in safety nets, so people, you know, to stop so many people from losing their power. And I think it would behoove the teak to do the same damn thing. They found out the hard way, didn't they? Yes, they did. They found out the hard way. Beverly Scott loses her $200,000 a year job. She resigned, you know. Her cushy, you know, making good money as the general manager of the mass transit. And, you know, they learned. You can't just think, oh, it won't happen. That's why I felt... Apparently my mom talked to some of her neighbors, and they're saying stupid shit like, oh, well, we're not worried, we're not going to clear off our roof, the insurance will cover it if something happens. That I don't know. Does your insurance cover stuff like that? And even, like I said to my mom, even if it didn't cover, that's kind of an ignorant thing to say, because, first of all, if your roof caves in, and onto you, you could be hurt or killed. Plus, I think they're just blowing it off, or blowing my mom off, which is concerned, because they're like, oh, the insurance will cover it. Yeah, but then you have to evacuate your house if the roof caves in, it's all open. I mean, that's a dumb thing to say. What they should say is, we're taking our chances, we don't want to shell out a couple $300, you know. To me, I think it's smart to, you know, pay a couple $300 or whatnot. And get your roof's not meant to hold all this snow. And even though these houses a lot more curved, there's still a lot of snow up there. And plus the ice dam things aren't good. Baker and them, they were explaining what ice dams are, and it's that something like it's heated through the roof because your heat rises up. Then the snow melts, and then it freezes when it reaches the cold air, and that's why the icicles in our back porch now are as tall as me almost.